What's good, everybody? You're here today at Bodega NYC for the sit down. I'm Luke Colon.
I'm Alex Norman.
And I'm William Valentin.
Salsa Billy.
That's
it.
Yes, sir.
And in honor of a Hispanic Heritage Month, we are sitting with a group of operators, advocates, brands that are all of Latino heritage in our feature for this next couple of weeks. And today we bring everybody, as we just introduced, Billy Valentín. He is the owner of the Farm to Hand micro license located in the southeast corner of the Bronx. And we're very proud carriers of his product. It's called the FYRE brand.
We have the FYRE stick and we have the FYRE 3.5 jars. And this month we're dropping the 5-packs. So we have the FYRE stick with the 5-packs.
Now let me ask you something, because for us as former legacy operators, we were ready when legalization came around to jump into the mix of legal cannabis. We all qualified because of our background as social equity applicants, and me as a former person having been charged with a cannabis arrest. What about the legal industry surprised you or you weren't expecting versus your experience as a legacy operator?
Compliance is the biggest hurdle. As a legacy operator, we're used to growing our weed, taking it down, drying it, curing it, bagging it, goes out. Having to build a brand with your product is kind of the hardest part. I mean, I can go and sell wholesale to a processor, but then I'm defeating the purpose, because we're getting minimal amount of money and not enough recognition, right? So we have to build a brand around the product that we're making so that people could understand who we are and keep it legacy-based.
So people feel that connection.
Anytime I go to a store, I try to go myself just to introduce myself and let them know where we come from. Like, we are from the legacy market. We come from New York City. We come from our humble beginnings. We come from the projects. And we worked our way up to being able to be at this point, right? And most of our bud tenders identify with us, right? So as long as you get that identity and they identify with you, they really start to push your product because they understand that we come from the same place.
And how did you get into cannabis?
Well, that's a long story.
Right.
And that's what the sit down's for, the long story. So we're ready for you.
So there's a few different angles to that. Actually, a friend of mine asked me to build a spot for him, some HVAC for a spot for him. And I didn't know it was for a cannabis place.
Right.
A couple of weeks later, I was asked to tear it down. And when I realized what it was, I'm like, yeah, dude, why didn't you just tell me it was for a cannabis spot, right? Because I come from a construction background and realized that he was growing, right? And I realized that the hardest thing or the way to grow is through environmentals. And I did that all my life. I'm an HVAC technician,
connecting
installer.
thermostats, monitoring
That's what I
levels.
do.
Yeah.
So controlling a room's environment was easy for me because I did it all my life. Lack of funds, lack of money. The one day I'm like, I'm gonna start growing, right? And I went to visit my partner and I told him, Ralph, listen, I wanna start growing. And he looked at me and he starts smiling and he takes me to this apartment where he had like 4 lights.
Right.
Or 3 lights, little lights, And he was growing and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what I wanna do. Like, this is what we gotta do. But we need to do it in a bigger scale. 3 weeks later, we were looking for a location to build a room.
I mean, that jump from a 3 to 4 light setup to a major room is a big jump. Because I remember when I first started with 1 light setup, then we expanded to 4 light setup, and then I met a partner or somebody that had a delivery service as well, and was like, we got to do this big. And I was like, man, I don't know. I never really thought about doing this that big. He's like, no, it only makes sense to do this. And then when we made that jump from 4 lights to 12 lights, then to 24 lights, the game changed at that point. And to your point, because the environment changes, right? Because when you're dealing with 3 lights, you could pretty much manage in a small room, run a little simple AC unit, keep some fans going, and the environment stays pretty stable. But once you start ramping up, everything affects the plants, even the grow medium, right?
Everything.
If you're the difference between having soil in your pots versus cocoa versus a hydroponic system can affect the humidity levels in
completely. So knowing how to dial in your environmentals was everything. And I knew how to do that, with my eyes closed. So growing, when we did that jump, it wasn't hard because it was just mathematics. It was understanding the size, understanding how much humidity is in the room, how much do I have to take out, how much water am I recycling? I mean, all these numbers came easy to me. So our first room was amazing.
And what strain do you remember what you grew?
Yes. So we grew Super Silver Haze, Sour Diesel, and Northern Lights. And that was 25 years ago, 24 years ago.
Wow. That was before you and I met.
That was way before you.
Yeah.
I remember we got the seeds because Ralphie went over to Canada to get them.
Yep, I did that trip one time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he went over to Canada to get them, and he brought them over. He said, we got the seeds. We're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So we ran those 3 strains for maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Easy, you know? And the sour we kept kind of forever, and we got rid of the Northern Lights because people stopped wanting to pay. So we got rid of her, we killed her, and we kept the Super Silver Haze, and we kept the Sour Diesel, and then we introduced the Mango Piña. It was understanding what the market was,
Right.
and what they wanted, so that we never sat on anything.
Right. Now, do you see similarities back then in terms of what the market wanted versus consumer behavior now? Do you think it's worth it to just bank your harvest on just one good strain or 2 good strains that you grow well? Or do you feel like you have to, as a brand, change the strains around? Do you feel like you have to, like from harvest to harvest, offer different strains to your customers?
So what we do at Farm to Hand, we do one room legacy, and then we do the other room candy, right? So one room will come out and we'll have the Purple Haze and the Sour Diesel. So we keep those 2 on deck, right? Then we switch over to the candies, so what the young people want. So we got garlic icing. Garlic icing is from this young grower who actually works with us. He's called La Grasa. So we call him La Grasa Farms. Our next one was a lemon cherry gelato, which is a classic cut. That one comes from Sharky. It's a shark bite cuts.
Got it.
Right? También Latino. You know, Sharky is a Dominican. Grasa is a young kid, Dominican. And then the Pop Scotty came from Gage Cannabis Company.
Okay.
Those are 3 flavors that are dropping right now that are very fruitful, very stinky, you know. So we try to go back and forth, but we noticed that the people that are coming into the stores, they're not the younger crowd that's looking for these names. They're just not. The people who are going into these stores are older, 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus. And when they see the brands that are nostalgic to them, that they understand, that they remember from their youth, those are the ones they tend to lead.
That's where the connection is.
That's where the connection is, and that's where they lead to. So I see myself selling out of those brands much, much quicker.
I mean, people have been asking for your sour and your purple, and I'm like, I'm still waiting for it to come back.
I have store owners saying, I need you to leave this for me, because this is the only thing I smoke.
Right.
They're like, this is the only thing I buy in my store.
Yeah.
So you gotta have some for me. It holds me off to your next drop.
So Billy wears many hats, obviously a grower, a builder, so you know that core function of the business, but now you're on the brand side and developing Fire Stick as a brand. So how's that been going? How'd you come up with the name FYRE? And then what has been the challenges and what's been the pros and cons of that side of the business?
So the challenge is having to create this brand. Everybody wants fire. Like they're looking, when they go into the store, yo, what you got? What's fire? You know, so it was one of those things like, oh, fire, right? And then we added the stick, and we're like, if we add the fire and the stick together, it'll play off of a lot of people. And I'm not gonna say the company, but they're already familiar with the name.
Yep.
I've been into stores and I've been like, yo, I got the Fire Stick. They're like, oh, we've been waiting for that brand. Like, we've been waiting. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, we just launched it. Nobody knew, right? Yeah. But in their mind, they already knew the brand. As far as the marketing and the packaging, I left that to my son. You know, we want to micromanage everything because we're older. You know, I'm an older guy. We got to know that the younger kids also have an eye and a niche for what the young people want, right?
What they're attracted to,
what they're attracted to. My son, I kind of gave him rein on that. If he was here, he would tell you I did it. You know, because I fought him tooth and nail, and he'll actually tell you, no, Dad, this is not my design, it's your design.
Yeah.
You know, I just fell into what you wanted.
I got brought into the conversation at one point.
You did, right?
Pulled me in. I was like, you know,
so I
family business. Don't pull me in on this.
Yeah. So he got pulled into the argument. But at the end of the day, we worked together, and now he's the brilliant kid.
That's awesome.
Now he's at stores trying to get more contacts. And I truly think that this game is going to be a young man's game. It's not for us anymore. I mean, we're here and we're setting the foundation for what we have to do, right? But it's going to take those young kids like La Grasa, my son Christian, a couple of other young cats to take what we've started as a legacy and take the reins and take it to the next level. And hopefully they're able to do that.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is you're taking the ubiquity of a name and what you hear from the streets, what you hear from the customer, and then you actually translating that with your son in partnership to actually make it relevant for today, which a lot of folks are too headstrong to go and actually tap the younger folks that have the visual identity for building a brand. Because I see it from that side of building the brand is tough, but
I didn't tap him. I fought him tooth and nail.
Tap versus fight. That's the difference between a dad and a partner, right?
Yeah. I didn't tap him.
Two headstrong Puerto Ricans.
We're just too headstrong. As a matter of fact, last week he called me. I'm driving up to get our products tested, and he's like, Dad, listen, I've come to the realization that you're just too headstrong. I don't want to lose our relationship because I love you too much. So I'm gonna step back, and I'm gonna let you, and I'll just follow whatever you say. And at that point, I realized that I'm probably a little too headstrong. So that day, I took a step back, and it's not too far back. I'm talking about
the conversation.
The conversation was last week, 2 weeks ago.
The reins,
and I gotta loosen up. I gotta loosen the reins. It's just, for me, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, right? You don't get these opportunities, and I didn't think I was gonna get it, right? Because when you come to start thinking about who got the first licenses, think about it. They were all outside farms.
Right.
Who were they? Were any of them Latino?
No.
I mean, and I don't want to make this a debate or cultural thing.
Culture war.
Or culture war. It's just, that's not what I'm trying to do.
The facts are
but
facts,
the
right?
facts are facts. Who got the licenses first, right?
Right.
Were any of them ever legacy growers? Were any of them ever real cannabis growers?
Right.
Right? So if you would have told me, listen, the state wanted to make sure that this was really executed, and they reached out to growers, the best growers from California and Colorado and this and that, and they got the first outdoor farms, you would have been like, yo, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Because they want to make sure. But if you really look at it, it didn't go to those type of people. And I'm not trying to bash the farms or what they've done. But when they gave opportunity for legacy growers to come in, it's where it should have been. For me, I would have rolled out all the indoor growers first. I would have rolled out all the outdoor growers because we need all the biomass. And then once everybody was in place, I would have rushed on all the stores, right? So New Yorkers, for me, are very exclusive. They know what they want to smoke.
Yeah.
Right? So they're higher end type of consumer, and they know what they want to smoke.
Yeah.
Right?
They want somebody that knows what they're doing and not faking what they're doing.
Somebody that knows the brand.
Yeah.
And again, if they had, reached out to these amazing growers, because there's a lot of amazing growers, Humboldt County, Colorado. Not to say that New York don't have a bunch of amazing growers, but we were all underground.
And we were all indoor growers first.
All indoor growers and underground, so you wouldn't know who we are.
Yeah.
Because
talk about it.
Our biggest thing was blocking our identity.
Yeah.
Right, and if you block your identity well enough,
you can do business for a long time. Yeah.
But the downfall to that is that we weren't tapped on the shoulder when the OCM needed good growers.
Right.
They didn't know.
Right.
They didn't know us, so they didn't know how to get to us. They came up with this amazing program, the CCMT program. Amazing. They allowed us to take classes, learn what compliance is, and bring the legacy growers from the legacy to compliance. I think that was something amazing that they did.
Yeah,
they're bridging the gap there. And I think, honestly, to circle back to you and your son, you're also bridging the gap there.
Yes.
Of bringing legacy to literally pass the torch or pass the fire stick across.
Absolutely.
I mean, part of what Alex and I wanted to do with this sit down came from when you got to a certain age, your parents or somebody that you respected had to have a sit down with you.
Absolutely.
So that's why, obviously, we respect you, and we actually bring you into the store. Alex went and pulled from his Rolodex, and literally you were one of the first names to come up to say, we got to have the sit down. So no, passing that torch is super important. That's a reason why we wanted to highlight this month. Our Latino partners, our fellow brethren here, right?
Puerto Rican corner.
Yeah, we got the Puerto Rican domino table. We are ready to play.
We're ready.
It's not personal when we beat you, but we will beat you. So.
We coming.
Now, in honor of Latin Heritage Month, what does it mean to be Puerto Rican and operating in this space culturally? Like, what is it being Puerto Rican that adds something a little different?
Adding sazon to food is always the best. Like, you got regular food, and then you got food with sazon that brings the bland, right? That brings the flavor to it. What does it mean to me? So we've always been trendsetters, right? Prior to being one of the first Latinos to have a micro license here in New York State, we were also one of the first micro distilleries in the Bronx that made a brand called Pitorro, and they hadn't been Puerto Rican doing a moonshine in the Bronx since Prohibition. Right? The last person that was distilling in the Bronx was Dutch Schultz.
Right.
So that takes it all the way back, right? So being the first to be a part of this brand, which I love so much, I think the plant has so much to give. I'm excited. I don't know if anybody else is gonna love this, but Puerto Rican is one of the best nationalities.
Speak on it.
I will say
our culture is no joke, and we represent each other.
I'll give you guys this.
We represent
you
each
guys
other.
are always the pound for pound
Yes.
strongest culture because you guys are a small island.
Yes.
But you guys rep as
Puerto
hard
Rico.
as any other
Yes,
country. I mean, Colombia is potentially 50 times bigger in population, but you guys rep as hard as any other culture in the city.
What does Tito Trinidad say? Puerto Rico, number one. Number one.
We're the biggest, and I'm gonna dare to say the best. And as we get older, if you think about how many Puerto Ricans are on the island and off the island, right? We become a powerhouse. Like, if we were to all stay together, all stick together, the changes that we can make, we could be the voting bloc that changes the presidency.
Right.
Every time an election comes up,
Right.
like we can be that
effective, yeah.
political powerhouse, right? Because we have so much on and so much off the island, right? So as a Puerto Rican, I'm proud to be a Puerto Rican. My wife is always telling me, wow, you guys are so proud. She's an honorary Puerto Rican.
That's it.
She we're moving there.
But your wife is Dominican, right?
She's Dominican, yes.
My wife is Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So you're moving there.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm feeling the pull. I'm definitely. I mean, there are a lot of Cubans. There are a lot of Cubans in Puerto Rico. My father lived in Puerto Rico. My aunt lived in Puerto Rico. They're originally Cuban. After the revolution and the exodus, a lot of Cubans went to Puerto Rico, and so there's definitely a connection there for me. 100%.
And his wife, my sister, continues to send me listings of places in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
So there's no doubt that we will end up in PR.
Final destination.
And we will be very excited about that.
Yep.
It's something, again, I think we go back to the legacy of it all.
Yep.
I think in our DNA, especially when you go to the island, you see that entrepreneurial spirit, that opportunity to have that balance in life, right?
Yep.
That opportunity to sit down with young and old, which is something I think you have done and explained well for Fire Stick, that you brought young and old to the table, and also looking at opportunities to advance, right?
Yep.
We're not looking to go backwards, we're looking to go forwards. So I think PR, especially our connection to that island, you jump on a 4-hour flight, you're right there, and you're touching Earth, right? You're touching Mother Nature, and it's the only place in North America with the rainforest. I mean, to be that close to that, the beaches, the mountains, the city, and then we have our guy, Benito. Right? Benito's changing the world right now.
He's doing the Super Bowl.
I know. And again, I think it goes back to what I said earlier. He's become ubiquitous. With being proudful and having pride and caring about giving back. Now, if he could continue that legacy and the kids that are watching him continue that, then I see a very good future going forward. So if my son, your kids, your son can all feel that and see that tangible pride and that connection that we have to the island and to our people and carry that forward, I think we're in a good place.
Yeah. That goes back to what I said earlier, right? As a people, if we stick together, the changes that we would make in this country are tremendous. I mean, you're talking about one guy. I mean, he definitely has a team.
Great
right?
team.
Yeah. We
He has a
always
team.
talk about
He has a team.
the team that we don't see, but it's definitely a team.
They deserve the
Un aplauso.
the applause
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
right? All he said was, "I'm not leaving the island. I'm doing a residency, not in Vegas, on the island, and I'm only selling. I think everything he sold is made in Puerto Rico.
Right.
So his shirts were made in Puerto Rico. His hats were in the tag.
The tag say it on the shirt.
Yeah. So you know how much money that man just to generate.
You know how much confidence he has to have in what he's bringing to the table to know that that's going to win?
That's a Puerto Rico
Because
concept.
that's to say I'm not going to go to Vegas, which is pretty much locked in money.
Yeah.
To say I have enough talent and sway and followers that they will come and jump on a plane and sell out all these tickets.
Yeah.
I did it.
For how many months straight through,
Yeah.
and know that he was gonna win, like hit it out of the park.
Winning.
That takes
Winning.
a lot of confidence and confidence in who you got behind you and the vision.
And I think it's yet to be seen the impact, because not only is a Super Bowl happening, but there's a global tour that touches South America, that touches Europe, and goes all the way to the other side of the world in Japan.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna see the effect of our people and our culture globally, like it's never been done before.
Like it's never been
Like
done.
you know, there's salseros in Japan,
Yep.
but to see Benito represent and his team represent there and everywhere else in the world, I think it's.
I'm telling you,
I think
Puerto Rico has
it's a
the pound for
masterclass.
pound title, man. You guys got the pound for pound title.
It's a masterclass in marketing, production, artistry,
Brand.
execution, entrepreneurial.
Yep.
You know,
Branding,
like it's a
branding,
masterclass of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And I look at it in that like nuanced way, because I experienced the show myself. And not only did I appreciate it to see the show, I also looked at when you're on the island, everyone that adopted the font, the graphics, the story of the residency, it went as far as Doritos to Dongu to restaurant menus to everything that encompassed the island was that. And that was special in itself.
It was
and now
amazing.
that's going to be spread around the world, which is
Around the
a little mind blowing.
Around the
I've been
world.
around the world a bunch of times,
Around the world.
and I never had that connection everywhere I went, because you do feel like you're the only Puerto Rican in the middle of China, wherever I was. But now to have Benito go out and say, yeah, I am going to be the only, and I am going to start this.
And he's repping it in
It's
the right
special.
way that you feel proud of.
In a way that we can be proud of. So when you ask me, how do I feel to be? I feel like Benito right now.
Right.
We are all Benito.
We're all
right?
Benito.
Benito.
Or Benito saw everything you've done
Yeah.
and everything that we've done collectively,
Yeah.
and is actually taking that strength
Yeah.
and moving forward.
Yeah. Because he is younger than us.
But
Yeah.
you think about, we had Pitorro de Coco legally in the
That's
stores 10 years ago. And Pitorro de Coco came from our tradition. Our tradition is our moonshine. We make our moonshine out of whatever fruit is in season, actually, right? So when you're in Puerto Rico, whatever fruit is in season is what you're making your Pitorro.
Farcha,
It's whatever
guanábana, whatever fruit.
So we're talking about our mash. And then once you do your fermentation and you distill it, then you add another layer of fruit to it.
Right.
And so either you're adding coconut, pineapple, palcha, whatever. And then back in the day, you would bury it,
Yep.
right? And then only be drunk or use drunk on the day of an event.
Right.
Like, so if there's a sweet 16 or a birthday or a wedding, you would send the youngest guy to go
Dig it up.
dig it up. Dig it up, and now you're drinking Pitorro that's been buried for 6 months.
Can I say something on camera?
Yeah.
Can we get a Pitorro de Coco strain going?
So we're working on
drink.
We're working on getting the drinks
Yeah.
that we used to have from Pitorro. So we'll have the same
Sign me
flavor.
up.
Are you gonna have my favorite?
Flavors?
Are you gonna have my favorite?
Which one?
The Selma Hayek.
Absolutely. Absolutely, we can have the Selma Hayek, you know? And then instead of having alcohol, it'll be cannabis infused with the same Pitorro flavors.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're working on that, you know?
You heard it first.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, we're working on that because it's needed. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's a part of our DNA.
It's a natural expansion from the brand that you're building,
Yep.
the brand that you have,
Yep.
and then mashing them together.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I asked the question because I'm excited for it.
Absolutely.
So next summer, you think?
Hopefully
Okay.
by next summer we're there.
Summer 26.
Yep. We'll have
Yep.
the refreshing drinks.
On that note,
With that,
we're here with the sit down. I'm Alex. This is Billy Valentín, farm to hand, micro license, South Bronx, New York.
South Bronx, New York.
Bodie from the Bronx.
Yes, sir.
This is Lou Colon from Brooklyn. We're here, 321 4th Ave, Bodega NYC. See you in the next sit down.